shoot. Ares is calling me. What, bro? I want to do the video with no mic.
Oh, you want to do it with no mic? Okay. Alright, challenge accepted.
You're live on YouTube. Say what's up to everybody.
Yeah, what's up, everyone?
That's Ares.
Hopefully, this class will educate y'all.
Education. Alright, thanks, bro. Sorry.
Alright, peace.
Bye. Holy fucking talking, people. I said so much in like the shortest amount of time possible and accomplished absolutely nothing. All right, let's start over. First, I said you get to look at my hand, and I said I hope you had a good weekend so far. And then we went over to futures, and I was saying we gapped up. They retested the October value area low. They tried to bounce, and then they failed. And then through here, I was like, oh, we're about to get a little sell-off, which is exactly what happened. They gave us like a 20-point move. Right now, they're trying to bounce off the previous day POC. I would kind of expect them to fill this gap, but they might leave it. Who knows? We'll see. Ugh. And then a bunch of other words. One was... One of our setups we were looking for was a peak above and failed to grab puts on the previous day POC. That happened right at the open. And we were just targeting September value area low. So that actually happened in one 5-minute candle. They did ultimately go lower. They gave a retest and then went all the way down to previous day value area low. And I also said, if you got more than the September value area low, good for you. Congratulations. Then I said, for anybody that follows my channel, you guys should know that we're basically looking for a retest after 3 5-minute candles of any level. So this was our initial test. These are our 3 5-minute candles. This is our retest. This was your entry for calls. You were in drawdown a little bit, and then it gave us a nice bounce, nice move to the upside. So hopefully you guys caught that. We were looking for a retest of previous day POC, and it did not give that to us, but they did run. They did try, and then they ran from there. So that's all I said when the mic was muted. Oh, except for I worked all weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. I just woke up like, I don't know, a couple hours ago. I just barely got coffee, and before I even took a sip, I was here live with you guys. And then I said, that's how much I love you guys. And then I took a sip of coffee, which I'm going to do again. All right. Let's start looking at what we're watching for tomorrow. I will be live. I will be trading live. Remind me to change my number so Ares doesn't have it. I'm joking. Oh, bro. Oh, yeah. Fell asleep during the class with Shorty. I didn't even try to stay awake. I fell asleep before the class with Shorty. I was sitting here at my computer and obviously just like not in a good position. So like I was like this with like my chin on my chest. And then the next thing I know, I feel somebody like watching me. And so I wake, like I open my eyes and my wife is standing over here like, are you asleep? And I'm like, fuck. So then fortunately I woke up before, Shorty started, but then no, I didn't even try to stay awake. I went and got in bed and went to sleep. Fucking hell, man. I can't believe I started. I mean, you guys know this is amateur hour YouTube. I am not a professional YouTuber. I have no desire to be a professional YouTuber. And the whole mic thing, yeah, that's going to happen a lot. Sorry. That's what you guys are paying for here. Absolutely fucking nothing. All right, let's chart this shit. Oh, and then also, I should add, I noticed this was kind of a bummer because people were kind of getting misinformation, but people were asking earlier about lifetime deal for Shorty's Discord. If that's you, one of the people asking was Sleazy. I have no way to reach out to you, but if that's you, all you got to do is just send me a DM or whatever, email. My email is actually in the info of the YouTube channel if you need to reach out to me. Or reach out to me on Discord. That's way better. Whisper to you. Weird. So yeah, all that stuff. If you are interested in the lifetime deal for Shorty, I think somebody also asked for the price. It's $1,200 for lifetime, but that also includes indicators. So yeah, just reach out to me. Shorty also just posted, I don't know if it's finished or not, on his Twitter. I don't even know why I'm looking for this. Yeah, I did that wrong. Hey. Sorry, I was trying to find this. Twatter, tell me in the comments your favorite undervalued stock. Get a year of TradingView Ultimate plan for free. I'll randomly pick one lucky winner. To make the deal sweeter, I'll include my personal custom indicators for life. So if that's something you're interested in, there's that for you. And I will link this in the chat. All right. You got wrecked this week? That sucks. I mean, you can still buy it, Eras, and then you'll just get an extra year. Eras is like, I want to spend one more trading day without TradingView or without a subscription. Didn't he say what day it's ending? Yeah. All right. My trading's been pretty boring this month. It's good boring, just boring because I haven't been trading enough. Wow, yeah, it's pretty crummy. And then Eras, I didn't see you on Friday, bro. I traded live, and he just didn't show up. I've taken 5 trades this whole month. 5 trades, 5 winners. Oh, sorry. I took 2 trades here. So, 6 trades. That's kind of weird that I took 2 trades, even though I had a winning trade. Anyway, 6 trades, all winners, 100% win rate for the month, 6 trades. Absolute trash. Kind of. I mean, like, I'm not complaining. I just haven't been trading enough. Yeah, all green. All right. Weekly levels on SPY. What am I doing? I need to go back to bed. Somebody messaged me. So I'm going to cover this really quickly. Somebody messaged me and asked me, like, hey, I just got the TradingView indicators. I know last week you just went over the settings. What video was that? And I'm like, dude, I have no fucking idea. Like, we randomly talked about that on a live. I don't know what day of the week it was. So I'll go over it again really quickly. For people that are just barely getting the Black Friday deal on TradingView. And then that way I know it's Sunday. Am I a Tesla fan? In what sense? I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. I'm not really a fan. I don't really know how to answer it. Like, I feel like the cars look nice. They have some cool things, like self-driving. What is it? Anyway, they have some cars that look cool. I like their acceleration. But I'm not really a car person. I like motorcycles. So, yeah. All right. TPO, poor high. Oh, wait, this is weekly. I mean, there is a poor high on the weekly, if you guys want to document that. But there's also a poor high on the daily. Wait, is this... That's Thursday, bro. Alright, I take it back. We have a poor low and a poor high. That makes things tougher. Doesn't really give us a clear direction. We are stacking levels in here. We need to break out above, preferably. I don't want them to break out below. I'm sick of watching my long-term portfolios getting their cheeks clapped. All right, indicators really quick. So if you're new to TradingView, what we do is search for SVP, session volume profile. You can put a star next to it, which would put it into your favorites. Session volume profile, settings, value area volume 68, row size 100, under style, check value area high, value area low, POC. Everything else really isn't important, but you can turn on the same stuff as me if you want. We do this on a 30-minute time frame. That gives us our value area low for the previous day, value area high, and the POC, right? From there, we would go to 65 minutes. We would turn off session volume profile, and you would look for the indicator PVP, periodic volume profile, add that to your chart. Same settings, value area high, value area low, POC. Under inputs, value area volume 68, row size 100, and period 1 week. On 65 minutes, this gives us our previous week levels. You do that once a week. After that, you would go to 1 month, same settings for everything else, 4-hour time frame, and this would give you your previous month levels. Right now it's November developing, but once a month you would chart your monthly levels. From there, we go down to a daily chart. And on our PVP indicator, we change this to 12 months. And that would give you your previous year levels. Right now, developing value area high, value area low POC. But if we go back, here's our 2024 value area high, value area low POC. Right? Still a little salty about this every time I see it. We called this out coming back inside the 2024 value area high, and then doing the 80% to the other side, and they just barely missed, like 40 cents. And I had like a major short position, so I was like, oh, they're gonna go like the next day, they're gonna tap that. Instead, I just lost. I mean, I didn't lose money, but I lost some of my profits because they just barely faded the 2024 value area low, bastards. So that's how you do that. If you want to learn how to set your levels, there you have it. All right, for tomorrow. Let me zoom out really quick. So we're still holding this consolidation area. They did try to lose it, came back inside. That's good if you're bullish. But what we really need is for them to break back above 673.95 if you're bullish, and then go and make new all-time highs to 695. Let's see where futures are right now. Yeah, they're recovering so far from basically almost back to the open. Our daily candle here on SPY. Oh, and then somebody told me I'm wrong. Like, this is not the Jamaican flag. It's the Ethiopian flag. Cool. But this is like the Rasta colors, right? That's what I was really trying to say. I wasn't trying to say the flag. I feel like I corrected myself later. Yeah, it's literally the Rasta colors, right? Like, literally. Except my yellow is not gold. It's yellow. What else? Sorry, fear greed index. We're probably still in extreme fear, like probably the worst that we've had. We're gonna be way over here somewhere. Okay, middle. Let's look at our calendar. Really nothing going on Monday. The French President Lagarde is speaking 20 minutes after the open. Tuesday, there's a lot for futures traders before the open. A little bit 30 minutes after the open. And then the rest is like after market close. Oh, excuse me. All right. The question that was just asked by Raphael is, can I show how I find supply and demand? Can I post the link for clusters? I mean, I can, but the clusters link changes every time. So, like, you should be able to just go to the channel. If you go to YouTube, go to my channel specifically, and then go to, well, here it'll show. So we're live here and we're live here. So this is the cluster chart.
The world's first titanium.
Yeah, no noise, thank you. So here's your link. So Raphael, this will also coincide with your question. I find supply and demand by using like actual order flow, not by guesstimating where I think large volume is coming in. But so what you do is, so I just shared, I don't know why I close this when I'm talking about it, but here, let me reopen this. This is live 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. For people that trade SPY, it's going to be a little bit different, but you can trade SPY right off of this chart. There's a video here that tells you how to use this for your trading. And the way that I find support and resistance is I look at the actual orders. So like here, it's 21,000 orders. That's going to be a big support level if we come back down to there. But this video will tell you like really how I do it. But then also every single one of these lines could potentially be support and resistance. And what you do is you go on a 5-minute chart and you wait for confirmation, basically. I'm trying to find confirmation for you. So like this would be a good example. It's not the best example, but here we broke above the October value area low. We came back and retested it here. This would be your entry for calls, right? And what you're looking for is for price to break over a level or break below a level, spend 3 5-minute candles or more above the level, which we did here. And then when it comes back and retests is where you enter, right? Or if we break below a level, you wait for 3 5-minute candles, retest, and then enter. And basically, when you get the 3 5-minute candles, it's confirming that the participants in the market are happy, either above or below that level. So like there's a good example here that I saw where, we broke above, right? This is our retest. Depending on your stop loss, you might have got stopped out. But then here they broke below, but we never had 3 5-minute candles below, like with a retest telling us that this was a good place to get in short. They did have 1, possibly 2 candles. I don't like the fact that it touched here. So like what you really want to see is the first candle obviously is going to touch the level. The second candle, you don't want it to even wick to the level. The third candle, same thing. You don't want it to even wick to the level. And then you're waiting for a clean retest. This here would be a prime example where we broke below here. We have 3 5-minute candles below where they're not wicking back up and touching the October value area low. This is your retest to enter puts, and then there's your sell-off, right? So that's one way that I find support and resistance. The better way is what we're going to cover right now, which is we look at the cluster charts and see where actual orders have come in, because those areas generally get defended. And actually, if I'm going to talk about supply and resistance, support and resistance, can't really do it without referencing the GOAT. Get this book, Volume Profile by Trader Dale. He has an offer. I think it's still going. I don't know if it's still going. Oh, here. So this, I'm posting a link. This is only valid for U.S. U.S. people. But he'll send you a free book. The one that you want is Volume Profile. I think people got more than one. And but if you're gonna try to get more than one, start with Volume Profile and then try to get the others. But he also has where is it? If you just go straight to his website, you can download it for free if you're not based in the US. But he'll send you a free book if you are. And you can download all of them, right? There's more. I don't remember how to get to them, but you guys can look for them. But yeah, you can download his books, PDFs, directly off of his website for free, and it's not a scam. Definitely read the whole book, but one of the setups, basically, that I kind of just covered, but he's going to go more in depth on it, or kind of. He doesn't say to specifically wait for 3 5-minute candles, but I do. But he's saying where you see a bounce, breakthrough, when you come back to that level, you would enter short. This is called SR flip, or support becoming resistance, and vice versa. So same thing here, rejection, 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 breakthrough, retest, enter. So read this book and then follow the information. So that's a couple of ways that I find support and resistance. What are they doing right now? Nice. Or actually, sorry, I need to be on my futures chart. The next way is just straight up using order flow. So what I do, so that cluster chart link that I showed you guys, nice. Why did you do that? You absolute twat waffle. There's the only issue for you guys, if you're looking at it on YouTube, you kind of need to be watching live to see when these big prints come in, because the chart will automatically move, and I don't really monitor the live stream too much. I'll check on it every once in a while. But basically, you're looking for areas where there's a large volume of orders. So like this would be a good example. This here is kind of an example where this is already done, so I'm not showing this now for taking a trade. I'm showing it to explain how you would use this. But when you see a large order flow come in, you're waiting for a full 30-minute candle to open and close without touching this area. Either open and close above or open and close below. When these orders come in, we don't know if they're buyers or sellers. Once we get that 30-minute candle opening and closing completely above, we know that those were buyers, right? Or if the candle was below, then we would know it was sellers. So in this case, we know these are buyers. When price comes down to here again, this is where you would enter calls or enter long, and then you play it up, right? We do also cover like how to find where to exit your trade. It's covered in that book by Volume Profile by Trader Dale. But so this is this is my primary way of finding support and resistance. And you generally want to look for the order flow that's larger than the average, right? So like our average, like this one isn't the best example because it's not that large of order flow, but it ended up working, which is why I showed it as an example. Even this here, right? This is, again, it's not significantly large order flow, but these were sellers, right? And then when we opened today and came back to that level, we sold off. Again, I wouldn't be trading this because the order flow is just not large enough. This is more interesting, but really like the one that stands out is going to be this 21,000. So, and that would also fill the gap, right? So if we come back to here, we're definitely going to be interested in grabbing some longs or grabbing calls. And then obviously also you might be saying, well, this is not SPY. This is it's not SPY, and you would be correct. This is ES futures, which is the S&P 500 futures, and SPY is the S&P 500 ETF, right? So they move together. They're basically one and the same. Just the level is different, but you can correlate the level to SPY's level. So like this is 616 to 618-ish. So we come over here and we're going to draw our zone. Did I say 16 to 18? And actually, I probably wouldn't even wait for this. This is a strong low. I mean, you can wait for it, but you might be better off getting into a trade here. But you would want to see how they react. If we come down to here, you might want to hop in, but you would need to have like a larger stop loss. So like something like this. Okay, so 3-to-1 risk to reward. You just want to go size smaller. If you're patient and you wait for this, if they do give it to us, then good for you. But this should be a good trade. But just take a smaller sizing, trying to get a bigger move with a wider stop loss. My coffee's getting cold. So anyway, this is my favorite way to find support and resistance. And then what I do from here is I would go over to SPY. And I would find that same candle. Where is it? Friday, 12:55. Is it here? Oh, duh. So what I actually will do is I'll match it to the candlestick. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll go on lower time frames if I need to, and then from there I'll be like, okay, the top of this range is the 1257 candle, and the bottom is like basically the wick of the 1258 candle. So that's kind of how I match it up. I don't think for this particular one it doesn't have to be that accurate, because we know we're getting it in this range, if that makes sense. So it's basically something like this. All right. So that is the way of finding support and resistance. Let me go ahead and close this chart so I can see the chat again. And when I say that, like, other people will tell you other ways of doing it, but that's going to be the most accurate way of doing it. There's, you can always draw like a fixed range volume profile. You know, from like this there to there, and then you look at the high volume as far as the what's it called, where volume was the largest on the profile, and that would be like your support and resistance, right? And so this does identify that area where we're wanting to be in calls. It's not as accurate though, right? So here we have a little volume shelf. But it's not as accurate as this, right? Where here we know in this small area there was a large amount of orders, and here it's a much larger area where you'd be looking to get into a trade. So again, there's a lot of ways to do it. There's better ways to do it. Yeah, it applies to MES as well. The level is going to be very slightly different because MES and ES are just a tad off, like a hair off. So yeah. Yeah, no worries. Sorry, I'm just reading through the chat. I mean, I got possessed by something errors. I don't know what it was, but I was unable to English for a second there. Okay. God, this is a clusterfuck. It's very slightly off errors. Like, I've had times where I was trading MES, for example, and let's just say I was targeting 66.55 on MES. And on ES, it literally taps 66.55 and then sells off, but I'm still in the trade. And then I go look at MES, and it's like MES tap 66, 54.75. So it missed by one tick, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? So yeah, it is slightly different. Double distribution, this here. I mean, I didn't do the whole day, right? I just did high to low. I mean, I guess that is the whole day. No, I'm missing this, which, I mean, Yeah. It's not a pretty double distribution, but yes, it is. I'm not stoked about any of this, really. This is going to be way easier to call out live tomorrow. But watch for calls here. If you get in calls and we lose this, you can have a tight stop loss. Then we're looking for a retest to get in puts. Okay. All right. I will be live tomorrow. I don't think there's any... What's the word? I don't think there's any reality where I'm not live tomorrow, short of like some disaster in my household where I have to like rush somebody to the ER. I'll be live tomorrow. And I would much rather call this shit out live than be doing it here. I mean, I love doing this, the chart analysis. Like, it's good to have levels going into the next day where you know you're interested in taking trades. But for me, watching order flow live, watching for absorption, watching for completed auctions, like, it's just so much easier for me to do it live. But again, it's always good to go in with a plan, not with what's it called? Not with a bias, but go in with a plan. So, yeah, tomorrow. And by live tomorrow, you have to have access. Basically, if you haven't been in one of my lives, then that means that you don't have access. It will be under my tab in Keenan's Discord. It will be in my mentorship group Discord, and I will be live in Shorty's Discord under the voice tab. If you guys have any questions, now would be the time. On Friday, we killed it. Trying to remember exactly. I entered... Where was it? I'm pretty sure it was here. No, that's too late. It was over here somewhere. What time did I get home? think it was right here that I got in. Now that I've moved my levels, it's hard because, like, our target was down here somewhere. And I got in, like, right here at the top of this candle. I think it was. And my exit was down here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. But it was like a good 20-point move that happened really fast. Look, Prince, so if you can see my tab in Keenan's Discord, then you'll have access. So here, if you can see this, that's where the link will be posted. If you're in my mentorship group, the link will be posted here under the general chat. And if you're in Shorty's Discord, I will be live right here, where I'm live right now, which I shouldn't be. But yeah. So, those are the places where you will see it. But yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer. Like, I think Shorty called out short here, and I wasn't home. I got home and I sat down at my computer, like, literally as we were retesting this, and I saw absorption on my cluster charts, and I saw 0 at the top, and I called out to everybody that I was entering short. Where's... Now I want to see what that looked like on the 1 minute. Yeah. So, yeah, this was, my entry was like right there. But so anyway, like, they had sold off from Shorty's entry, started retracing back up, and I sat down at my computer probably like right here. And then I was like, oh, this is a great spot to get back in short. This would have happened very fast, but I'm sure you guys can see this is a little bear flag, and this is probably the golden pocket here on 1 minute if we draw our fibs. Oh, it's actually not. It's a little bit above the golden pocket, but still kind of in that range. They spiked through it a little bit and then dumped. But yeah, little bear flag. This should have been the first target right there. But I wasn't looking at this on a 1 minute time frame. I didn't even realize that it was like a bear flag. I was looking on the 5 minute. Anyway, good times. I was in that trade for like less than a minute, I think. It was good. It was nice. Right now I'm just BSing, waiting to see if there's any questions or whatever. While I wait for questions, I'll tell you guys a story that I thought was hilarious. I think what you know, like, I can't speak for what Tom was saying, but I think what he's saying is now retail is like piling in, and it's probably going to reverse and go the other way. That's how I'm interpreting what he's saying, but I'm not sure. So what I'm about to say is kind of funny and weird all at the same time, and crazy. So I worked last night, and I'm getting report on my patient. I'm not going to reveal any details because I'm not trying to reveal anything that could be considered HIPAA. But I don't know, I was just kind of cracking up because the person I'm getting report from is like one of the I don't know if saying few is the right term, but there's a small handful of people that do the work that I do that I respect, that I know they truly care about their patients, that I know that they're knowledgeable and educated, and they work hard at being like good at their job, right? Doesn't mean they're perfect. It means that they at least care and they're trying, right? Healthcare is a practice, and people might not understand what that means, but you're constantly practicing and trying to improve and get better and have better outcomes and figure out what works and what doesn't work. That might sound crazy because, you're taking care of people, but yeah, it's a practice, right? Like you're going to grow and get better with time and experience in your field. So anyway, I'm getting a report, and they're telling me like, blah, 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 whatever, about the patient. And then she tells me, and be careful, like, one of the family members is like pretty difficult to deal with. And this is like a really nice lady that, like, you would be hard pressed to not get along with her. She's an easygoing, nice person. And again, she actually cares. So like, I know she was in there doing her job. I know she was in there like giving good care. And so what she told me, I was like, oh shit. And so anyway, this family member tells her like, basically like, I've been taking care of this person for X amount of years. And I'm not going to say how many years because that would be kind of revealing what could be considered like HIPAA information, but a long time, a lot of years, right? And to that, my coworker replied, "Oh, that's nice. I went to school for this." Like, and I feel bad because, again, like I know this person well enough to know that she's the same as me in the sense that I went to school. I've been practicing, in my field for over 20 years. I have a ton of experience. I have a ton of knowledge. But I'll always reference family members. So like when you have somebody that's like under long-term care, like where this person can't take care of themselves, and so their families have to do everything for them, like bathe them, clean them, brush their teeth, feed them, just everything, right? Those people are always going to they're going to know that individual better than I will, right? That individual person, they've been taking care of them so long, they know all of the intricacies and whatever else about that specific person. They don't have more knowledge than me as far as my career field, but about that specific person, they have more knowledge. I'm a respiratory therapist. And so, yeah. No, I have no problem with family being overly protective. I'm overly protective. Like, I'm very, very protective of my family. I mean, I'm super protective, like, all the time. Super, super, super protective. Whoa. So that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is to come into my realm, right? And to act like you know more than me is wild. And so that's what it sounded like they were doing. And anyway, again, my point is like I know this person and I know myself, and I'll always talk with the family like, hey, like, do you guys have a certain way you like things done? Do you guys have a certain way of doing things? Blah, 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 blah. And as long as their certain way of doing things doesn't contradict what I know as a respiratory therapist, I'm going to do it the way they like to do it, right? Because as long as it works, there's nothing wrong with doing it the way that they're comfortable, and what works for them, right? They're going through a lot with whatever's going on, where their family members in the hospital, they're in a vulnerable state. They're probably on guard. They don't know me. They don't know other people walking in the room. And so I always want to try to be, respectful of that. And then I'm also intelligent enough to know, like I've said a couple of times, they know that individual better than I do, right? So I'll always reference the family, like, hey, like, how do you do things? Like, how do you like things done? Whatever. And generally, before I leave the room, I'll be like, is there anything that I didn't do that you would like to be done? Like, actually, this very same person, last night, I don't like to, you guys might not even know what this means, but like, when I have somebody that has like a tracheostomy or ET tube, I don't like to just haphazardly go in and suction them. A lot of people do. Every time they walk in the room, they'll just suction the patient. I can look at my ventilator and I can tell with, I don't know, I would say like 98% accuracy whether or not the patient needs to be suctioned. And so, I tend to go off of that. Sometimes I'm wrong, but for the most part, there's, nurses and other people walking in the room and suctioning. And so I don't necessarily do it every time I go in the room. So yeah, like that specific patient last night, I went in, I had gone in like an hour before and I suctioned. I really didn't get very much. And I know when the patient first got there, like they had a lot of secretions. So like we were suctioning a lot, but by this point, like, it had calmed down. I wasn't getting very much back and I had just suctioned them an hour before. And based on what I was seeing on the ventilator, it didn't look like they need to be suctioned. And so as I'm like getting ready to leave the room, one of the family members was like, hey, like, can you suction them? And I was like, oh, I just did it an hour ago. And I'm like, and their secretions have calmed down. I'm like, they don't need it right now. If you want me to do it, I will. But I really don't think it's necessary. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. But so, yeah, it was just wild. Like, this person just straight out told my coworker, like, well, I've been doing this for X amount of years. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. And I was like, I'm glad they said that to you and not to me, because I would clap back. Like, I'm not the one. I mean, she did a little bit by saying, like, well, I went to school for this, but yeah, she probably handled it way better than I would. And this might sound funny to you guys, but like, I mean, this is like a blessing and a curse, right? There's so much information at the tip of our fingers, right? Where we can go look up like everything, right? And then you have a family member in the hospital or whatever it is, you're in the hospital and you start Googling, Googling your symptoms and looking things up. And then you have people with a lot more education than you, at least in this specific area, and a lot more experience with you, again, at least in this specific area, walk in the room and start taking care of you. And then you start regurgitating the stuff that you've read online. And it's got to be like one of the most frustrating things for healthcare workers, where like, again, me personally, I've been doing this for over 20 years. I walk in your room. I'm good at my job. I'm knowledgeable. I'm a professional. I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure you walk out of the hospital. Like, I mean, I've gone to extremes to where, like, I've yelled at doctors where I was trying to push for something and they didn't agree with me. And, like, I've gotten into heated arguments, for, like, advocating for patients. And then, like, to walk in the room and have them, like try to tell you how to do your job, and I'm like, who the fuck are you? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Erez. I'm not taking. I mean, sometimes I suction blood, but I'm talking about mucus. So I mostly work in critical care ICU. Most of my patients are on life support machines, and with a life support machine, you have a tube in your mouth that goes into your lungs, and there's a balloon that's inflated below your vocal cords, and basically with the normal process that happens, like we have cilia, which are little hairs in our airways that bring phlegm and mucus to the back of our throat, and then like above the vocal cords, and then you swallow them. You don't even realize it's happening, but it happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Every once in a while we'll cough up, like, you know, a larger amount of phlegm, and some people will swallow it, some people spit it out, whatever. But if you're on life support, you have that balloon inflated. The cilia can't do its job of what it normally does of bringing the secretions to the back of your throat. So we just there's a suction catheter connected to the tubing. You just put it down and suction and get the phlegm out of their lungs, and that's all it is. And then a lot of people, you know, that I deal with are like older and have pneumonia, so they'll have like increased mucus production. So they need to be suctioned pretty frequently. Or even worse, like smokers, ex-smokers, are going to have increased mucus production as well. Actually, while I'm talking about that, I should speak on this, just because if I don't speak on this, I feel like I would be doing a disservice to anybody listening. People don't understand this, but you can Google this if you don't believe what I'm saying. But like we see it with older people that smoke. I'm sure everybody here has been around somebody that's been a smoker for a long time, and they're constantly like hacking up loogies. And even if they quit smoking, they still keep hacking up loogies for their entire life. And there's a reason for that. And what that is in our bodies, in our lungs, we have these cells called goblet cells. And goblet cells are responsible for mucus production. And mucus is responsible for catching, you know, like particulate matter that we might inhale, whether it be dust or smoke or whatever else. And then everybody has goblet cells in their lungs, and we have a normal amount of goblet cells to catch, you know, those particles that we're inhaling, whether it be, you know, smoke, smog, dust, whatever else, right? But then this is the thing, if you're inhaling like extra particulate matter, like you're smoking or you're vaping, where you're constantly inhaling more particulate matter than the average person, your body in turn creates more goblet cells to make more mucus to catch those particles that you're inhaling. And once you have more, like once your body produces more goblet cells, they never go away. And so what ends up happening is the longer you smoke, the more goblet cells you produce, the more mucus you produce. And this is where things get wild. You'll develop that smoker's cough that never goes away, where you're constantly, you know, hacking up loogies and whatever else. And if you just keep smoking and keep going and keep going and keep going, eventually your muscles start to get weak when you get older, and you're not able to cough up that mucus anymore. And it builds up in your lungs, and you eventually just end up drowning on your own phlegm. And that's how a lot of smokers die. It's not pretty. So moral of the story is don't smoke, don't vape. Because even though a lot of people think like, oh, if I quit smoking or I quit vaping, like my lungs will repair and they'll heal and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, like the nicotine and tar that's in your lungs will go away, but those goblet cells never will. So no, lungs do not repair and heal. Once your alveoli are damaged or once you produce extra goblet cells, that's permanent. So take care of your lungs. You don't want to die by drowning on phlegm. Raphael, very personal question for you, but I've always been curious if you're religious. Like, do you follow any certain religion? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Are you asking from the perspective of healthcare, or are you asking like just me as a person? Am I religious? I mean, I'm going to start answering you because you're on a delay, so I won't get an immediate reply from you. Yeah, I'm religious. I don't consider myself like Christian or Catholic or whatever else. I mean, I would fall under that umbrella, I guess. Like, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I'm religious. I don't really believe in organized religion. Like, my wife and my son, they like to go to church every Sunday. I don't go, mostly because I work on the weekends. But even if I wasn't working, I wouldn't want to go. I think a lot of churches are scams. And I'm not, when I say this, like, I'm not trying to offend anybody. Okay? Like, I'm religious. I believe in God. You know, like, there's some people, I guess the best way I can put this into perspective is some people need that support and that structure, right? Like, so for some people, going to church is really good because it gives them structure and support, and they get to be around other people, you know, with similar beliefs to their own. Just like somebody that might be, you know, like a recovering alcoholic or recovering drug addict, where they feel the need to go to AA and talk about stuff, or go to NA and talk about stuff and be around other people that they can relate to. So a lot of you know, like, I'm an ex-addict, right? I never went to NA or any of that stuff. Like, I don't need that support or that structure in my life. I can choose and use my own willpower to just stop doing something that's not beneficial to me, right? So for, like, my religious preferences, I don't feel the need to go and be around a support group, be around other like-minded people. For me, my relationship with God is a personal thing. I mean, I don't mind talking about it, but I don't need to go to a building to feel closer to God. Kind of the same thing. This also might kind of like make sense to some people. I've never understood going and visiting a gravesite, right? So, like, for a loved one that's passed away, I've never understood the need to go to their grave to feel closer to them. Because for me, like, with my beliefs around death and religion, like, I feel like those people are with me all the time. And if I want to have a conversation with them, I just have a conversation with them wherever I'm at in that moment. Like, I don't feel like I need to go to where, like, their remnants might be. And again, for people that do, like, I'm not, you know, like, hating on you or whatever else. Like, do what's important for you. Do what works for you as a person. But I've just never felt that need. Like, I don't feel the need to go hang out with other recovering addicts. I don't feel the need to go hang out with other Christians or Catholics or whatever else. Again, I wouldn't even know what denomination to give myself. I don't feel the need to go to a gravesite to, you know, like, have a conversation with somebody that's passed on, you know, that's a loved one. So, yeah. Yeah, no worries. I mean, I try to always be, you know, open and revealed. And also, I think the most important thing is, like, I'm not judging other people. Like, if you're a Buddhist or a Christian, a Catholic, you know, whatever, Muslim, as long as you're a good person, you know, and you're doing whatever your beliefs are without hurting other people, like, do your thing, you know. whatever resonates with you, like, run with it. It doesn't matter to me. Again, what matters to me is that people are good people, you know? And again, religion, race, sex, creed, all that stuff just doesn't really matter to me. I associate myself with good people. And, you know, just be a good person. Take care of other people. I think for all of us, like, and even myself, like, we can do better, right? Like, I consider myself to be a good person. But there's definitely areas of my life where I could be a better person. Like, there's a good chance that I'll flip you off on the freeway. I mean, I'm sorry. But in that moment... and actually, this is kind of funny. Speaking of, like, flipping people off on the freeway. This was weird. I don't even understand what this person's issue was. But, like, the other day... What was it? Saturday morning. I'm driving home from work, right? And I think this is an important part of the conversation. I'm literally, like, exhausted. Like, I'm so exhausted. I just want to get home. It's pouring with rain. And I'm in the fast lane. Like, just cruising. Like, I think I was going, like, 75. Which was safe for the conditions, right? And I'm sitting, like, with my arm on the window of my car, and I'm like, my hand is like this, I think, or like this, right? So where I can't even see, like, who's in the lane to the left of me, or they can't see my face because I'm like this, right? And I'm just driving along, minding my business, and the car in front of me, they were going the same speed I was, whatever it was, like 75. They randomly slowed down. I mean, like, they didn't brake. They just, like, decelerated slowly over time down to, like, 62 miles an hour. And they're in the fast lane and there's nobody in front of them. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. I flip on my indicator. I change lanes, you know, to the lane next to them. And as I get up alongside them, again, my hand's still like this, like I'm still just kind of resting in my car, and I'm driving, and as soon as I get alongside them, they gun it. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, if you want to speed and drive crazy, like, go do it, but I'm not racing you. Like, I've been going 75, I'm still going 75. Why are you acting crazy? So then I'm like, whatever. I get back into the fast lane behind them, and I'm driving along. And then the same kind of thing happened, like, a little bit later. They start slowing down again, so I switch lanes again. Still going 75, just cruising. As soon as I get alongside them, they gun it. And my hand's still like this, so I'm not, like, it's not like I'm looking over at them, like, you know. I'm just driving along, like, minding my business. And so then I'm like, okay, whatever. I get back behind them. I'm going 75 still. And then this happened probably, like, 5 times. Where I'm getting to the point where I'm like, dude, can you please just pick a speed and maintain it? Like, I don't care if you want to go 60 in the fast lane, then let me go around you. I don't care if you want to go 100 in the fast lane, I'll be behind you doing 75. But just, like, pick a speed, stop, like, you know, slow, fast, acting like I'm trying to race with you or what. I really don't know what they were thinking. And then, way later, this is going on for like 20 minutes. I finally, like, they're in the lane next to the fast lane, and I end up getting in front of them. And as soon as they saw that I got in front of them, they gun it, right? And I'm approaching the car in front of me, to where I had to start slowing down, because if I didn't, I would rear end the car in front of me. They gun it, cut me off, and, like, brake, because, again, there's a car right in front of me. Now I'm pissed. I swerve over into the carpool lane, go around them. There's not enough room for me to go between them and the car in front of them, but I do. And as I'm doing it, my middle finger's up out the back window of my car. And then they tried to, like, swerve over into the carpool lane, and I moved so they could, like, I blocked them. And then they tried to move back to the fast lane, and I blocked them again. And the whole time I'm just like this, like, blocking them from going anywhere. And they kept trying to, like, go around me, and I just kept blocking them. And then finally, I was like, screw these guys. I slowed back down to 75. I mean, I wasn't like speeding crazy or anything. I was just blocking them from going around me. And then after that, I think they got the point. They like backed off and they were going slower and they were behind me. And then they finally like hopped in the carpool lane and they gunned it and they were doing like 90 in the rain. And they left me alone after that, which was the smart thing to do. Yeah. People are weird and I don't get it. So, yeah. Anyway, I try to be a good person, but you do shit like that to me, like, yeah, I'm not going to be a good person. But ultimately, you brought it on yourself. So, yeah. I feel like I need to take my son to the range this week. It's been way too long. And speaking of the range, it's kind of funny how many people tell me they want me to be on their apocalypse team if the world goes south. Yeah. One of my coworkers last night, he's an ER nurse, nice guy, super intelligent, like hyper intelligent. And I was kind of like haphazardly listening to him because, like, what are the chances? But he was telling me if like if the economy collapses and the world falls apart or whatever, he's rushing to the Miller Brewing plant in Azusa, California. I think it's Miller. Or Coors, or I don't know, Budweiser. I don't know. It's like some big brewery, right? And he's saying like, like it would be easy to fortify it and defend. And there's going to be barley and yeast there, and like you can live off of that. Like it will provide substance, and also you can make ethanol, which you could turn into gasoline, and you could make this, and you can also make alcohol, and so you're happy while the world's falling apart and whatever else. And he's like, and I want you and your son to show up because he's seen videos of my son, shooting and whatever. So anyway, it was pretty funny. Now I feel like I need to pull up a video of my son shooting. I think I have one. And my son's name on Discord is Sig Sauer. Where... If I were a shooting video, where would I be? Or should I just send a new one? Because maybe I haven't shown you guys this. Hang on, let me find it really quick. And then I should probably go feed my dogs. Discord. There should be an easier way to do this. I mean, there is an easier way to do this, but whatever. This is the boy in Reno, Nevada, full auto 5.56. I think the sound's on. I can't hear. So, I don't know how many people have shot full auto, or 5.56 for that matter, but that takes a lot of control to handle this gun. And for a 10-year-old to do it is crazy. This guy, so he's a safety range officer, and to shoot full auto, like, you have to do it with a safety officer. And it was kind of funny because my son shot 3 guns that day full auto, and the first gun my son shot, like, this guy did not believe me. This guy here did not believe me. I was like, oh, he's got a lot of training, a lot of experience. I've been working on him, gun safety since he was 5 years old. And he's done like tactical shooting courses with the same person that trains like LAPD and Ontario PD. So he knows what he's doing. He's safe, and I trust him. But this person here doesn't know him from a hole in the wall. So the first gun my son shot, that range officer had it one hand on his shoulder, like he does here. He's got the one hand on the shoulder in case he does get pushed back. But his other hand, he was hovering above his head in case the gun went up, he was going to smack it back down. But you can see for this video, he wasn't worried about my son shooting the ceiling because he realized he knows how to control the guns. So he just, was holding him for the recoil. But you can see with my son's stance, and he leans into it, the gun's not going to push him back very much. It did put him back on his heels a little bit, but he wasn't leaning into the gun as much as he should have been. But I know that was more of an excitement thing where he's never shot full auto before, and so like some of the fundamentals were going out the window, if that makes sense. He was like way too excited to be shooting full auto. Yeah, he does MMA. Yeah, he's had like cage fights. He's a well-rounded kid. He's in technically right now he's in 3 bands. He's going to be quitting one soon. This is not one of his bands, but this happens to be here. This is him. And for this song, the audio is not the best, but he does the screaming part. It's called frying. It's very difficult to do. And I don't know very many kids that can do this, especially his age. I'm trying to find another video to show you guys. Yeah. I don't have the best videos of him like doing MMA type stuff. But I mean, this will get the point across. And this, I think he was 8 in this video. I just don't I don't really film it anymore. He has, whoops, wrong button. He mostly trains with adults now. So, yeah, he was like 8 here. Yeah, it's not even that clean. But yeah, he's I mean, he's a force at this point. Like anybody his age, he would run through them like crazy. How's this? Oh, I think this is him doing like Slipknot. So this is more screaming. Again, the audio kind of sucks on those. This is 1 month after learning drums. Oh, this is Brogan Walker, the UFC fighter. So he trains at the same gym as her. She's cool people. I don't know how much this shows. Their crowd here at the Orange County Fair was huge. Yeah. So here you can see he plays guitar too. He's actually like a super good guitarist. I don't even know what this is. So he does the adult classes and the kids classes. So that's my son right there, training jiu-jitsu.
Go.
It's peanut butter. This guy's hilarious. Good guy. Yeah. Anyways. Good stuff. Fun times. I'll say this, like I don't raise snowflakes, so yeah. Actually, most of the blickies are in his room. Like, my rifle safe is in his closet. But if you happen to like be CPS or something, he doesn't have access to the safes. Alrighty. To everybody still hanging out, love you guys. You know, I don't know how to put it into words, but like, it's cool to look at charts and whatever, look at setups for the next day. But you know, the people that are actually interested in what's going on in my life, that's cool. Yeah, appreciate you guys. A lot of times I do this just in case people do have questions. I'll hang out for a little bit. Today I probably went overboard on hanging out. But, yeah, the kid's fun because, like, we're into a lot of the same stuff. I used to train MMA really heavy. And then I broke my back, so now I don't train anymore. But I get to live vicariously through him. I always joke, though, and say I have one more fight in me. So, like, if you want to try me, I still got that dog in me. And then, yeah, so anyway, I get to go and at least watch him train. And I'm on the sidelines now, but at least I'm still in the space. And then, he loves shooting, so we go shooting together. A lot of the times I don't really shoot, and people might think I'm crazy, but I've shot so much in my lifetime that, like, and this might sound cocky and whatever, I don't really care what anybody thinks. I don't need to keep shooting to maintain my skills. Anytime I go to the range, like, there's been times where I've had, like a 10-year gap of not going to a shooting range, and it's like riding a bike. Like, my accuracy is the same as it was 10 years prior. Nothing changes. But when I go to the range, a lot of the times I'm so focused on working with my son and making sure that he's learning and growing. I guess I should show that, because, like, me and him, we don't go to the shooting range just to put bullets downrange. We actually go there with a purpose, and that's to improve, safety wise, and improve as a shooter, all of that stuff. So, like, I was telling you guys, now I have to, like, find examples. Like, I had my son do the tactical shooting course with my buddy. So, like, this is an example of that. Actually, let me find a few before I share it. What is... Yeah, there's two good ones. So, like, people that know shooting will already know what I'm showing, but I'll explain it in case you don't. If you're ever in a self-defense situation, most times you're at arm's length, right? Like, the person, you could reach out and touch them. And so when you're using a gun to defend yourself at arm's length, you don't want to put it in their face, like, to where they can grab it from you. So, like, this first video would be, you start basically with the gun at your chest and you shoot from there. So, like, you would draw it from your holster, shoot from your chest, and then you take a step back and you go to half presentation, take a second shot, and then another step back and you go to full presentation and take your third shot. So that's what this video is. And then this here is just practicing reloads. So that's the kind of stuff we work on when we go to the range, is actually, like, improving skills. A lot of people will go to the range, right, and they'll have, like, 300 rounds and they'll go through them in an hour. Whereas me and my son will go to the range with 100 rounds and we won't go through those 100 rounds in, 2 or 3 hours, because we're actually working on skills and tactics and improving in a self-defense and a safety sense, right? Main focus is always going to be safety and then self-defense, right? So, yeah. So anyway, it's fun. Like, obviously I love guns. I love shooting. I love MMA. And then I'm super into music, especially, like, vinyls. I don't know, nothing beats listening to a record. Like, having Spotify and digital is great now, where if there's a song you really want to hear, you can listen to whatever you want, like, in an instant. But I think there's something to be said for putting on a record and listening to it from start to finish, and not you know, like basically every record I have that song that's my favorite song on the record. But like even a CD doesn't encourage this, or like a tape or a record, like you're kind of almost forced to listen to the whole thing. Obviously you could skip if you wanted to a specific song, but you're really listening to it the way the artist intended for it to be listened to, which is from beginning to end. And vinyl just sounds so much better than any other media, tapes, CDs, digital, whatever. Just sounds so much better. And then I have a lot of rare vinyl, like stuff that only has like, I think my rarest vinyl is like only 102. Actually, no, that's not true. I guess my rarest mainstream vinyl would be like a press that there was only like 102 made. But then I have rarer stuff than that, where I have like the what are they called? The test presses, where they press the vinyl and they'll put like just a plain white label on it instead of the label that they're actually going to put on the records. And it'll just be in a plain white sleeve. It won't have a you know, whatever, a cardboard sleeve that it goes into. And it's like the initial test pressing. And if it's a legit test pressing, they're normally like 3 to 10 copies, and they'll give like one to the band, one to the producer, one to the manager, and then they listen to it to make sure that everything is crisp and clean before they start doing the pressings of the actual records. So I have some of those. I also even have test pressings that are autographed and stuff, which is cool. But yeah, I love vinyl. Like, actually, my daughter, well, here's an example. This is kind of, I guess, proof of my love for vinyl. Where is it? This is kind of funny because my daughter, oh shoot, who did I send that to? Oh, I did send it to the right person. It's just still sending. My daughter loves punk music, but she won't, like, it's not, I don't know what the word is. Like, it's, she loves punk and nothing else. So like you can put on, or like she likes metal too, but not as much as she likes punk music. So here I kept testing her. I would put on like whatever, Miley Cyrus or Katy Perry, and she doesn't do anything. And then the second I switch it to a punk song, you'll see her expression change, and she'll start smiling and she'll start dancing. And so like this is a great example here. She cracks me up. She loves punk. And that's like her favorite song. It's called True Believers by the Bouncing Souls, which is a great song. But so this here, she knows how to turn on the record player. And like, this is when I first bought the record player. I didn't have a table to put it on. I thought I had a place to put it, and it didn't fit. So then I had to buy a table. But right here, it's sitting on my floor, and that's not where it is now. Just so you know, I'm not ghetto. But
Can you push
yeah.
the button?
There's 4 buttons, and she knows how to turn it on.
Good job.
And then she wants to go. As soon as the music comes on, you'll see her expression change. But she's scared to like bounce by herself because she'll fall over. So you see her run to go grab my wife's hand to bring her back over to the record player so she can start dancing. She's like, whatever. She's hilarious. Alrighty. I guess that'll do it for the night. That's my life in a nutshell. Why is this not working? Thank you. All right, as always, everybody, much love, much respect. I will see you in the morning if you have access to one of those 3 areas where I'll be live. Again, that would be Keenan's Dean List, my mentorship group, or Shorty's Discord. All right. I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And let's make some money tomorrow. Futures are kind of just flat. All right. Take care, everyone. Peace out.